As you know, we're holding these calls in English. Here we go. So good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. Manuel is joining. So I am sharing my screen, my friends. Go. Share, share. Okay. Welcome everybody to a freelance navigator workshop. This one's called The Natural Born Seller. Brought to you by yours truly, Carlos. So first things first, I want to make sure that you think about the difference between a quote unquote closer or the common conception of a salesperson. You know, when we think of sales, we think of a salesperson, we think of extroverted, you know, the loud, the ones who seem to have it all. These are the social butterflies. They can meet someone new and instantly make them feel like their family. They're charming, eloquent, funny. They seem to have it all. The closer, the personality, the party of the room. If you watch the movie The Wolf of Wall Street, you can remember Jordan Belfort. He was this specific type of person, very confident, very eloquent, charming, the salesman, right? So if I know my people here, my dear developers, my dear designers, who in here consider himself an introverted? Raising hands. Who feels like an introverted person? Right? Okay, good, good. Yes. So this is the deal, my friends. If you hate doing something, you're not gonna get good at it. If you hate doing something, you're not gonna get good at it. So if the conception of a salesperson is the Wolf of Wall Street, and if we don't really like it, if we don't feel aligned with that type of person, we're never gonna get good at selling. So today I'm gonna help you guys flip the switch with the misconceptions of a salesperson. How? I'm gonna show you your alternative. Welcome to transformation management. So we're gonna flip the switch. We're gonna change our perception from a closer or a salesman to a transformation manager. What is transformation management? So it's an approach to sales that is more permission-based. It's an approach to sales where we provide value on front. It's an approach to sales that is aligned with who you truly are, not who you think you have to be. It's led by a genuine curiosity to your client's problems, and it respects the spirit of generosity. These values feel more enticing than becoming a closer or becoming a salesperson. So welcome to transformation management. What is transformation management or change management? The reason why I call it change is because the closer, instead of a closer, I want you to be a changer from C to C, from a closer mentality to a changer mentality. So welcome to change management. In essence, someone wants something and can't get it, right? That is the actual situation from all of our prospects coming from LinkedIn, coming from Upwork, even if we're landing a job. A hiring manager wants something, wants the right type of person for a specific job and can't get it, right? Or a prospect wants a specific product or service and can't get it. So as changers, as the ones managing the change, you are the one person who can bring the other person from point A to point B. This is not about tactics. This is not about pretending to be someone. This is not about acting in a certain way. This is a genuine understanding that you have the clear intention to help this person come from point A to point B. That is change management. You need to understand everyone wants something and can't get it. And you are that person in between. So far, so good. Any questions? Questions, anybody? Comments? So far, so good. Okay, good. So change management, right? No more trying to get a closing deal. So in this session, what we're gonna deal with is the fundamentals, the basics. First is to introduce you guys to the concept of transformation management or change management. And then I'm gonna arm you with 5 inquisitive questions that you can ask in a call with a prospect for you to be the one leading that change. Okay. So first things first, what do they want? What does the other person want? So let's talk about real examples. Mariano, if you can be so kind and unmute yourself and tell us a story, a very recent story of a potential client. So what were they looking for?
So I received a Upwork proposal today, and they were looking for a chatbot.
Interesting. Were they actually looking for a chatbot, or if you're more inquisitive, what are they actually looking for?
They are really looking for a chatbot, I believe. They also suggested the platforms in which they want the chatbot to be created. They basically need an assistant for a website to answer different questions and select the best service based on those questions from the users of the
Okay,
page.
interesting. So everyone pay attention. We're gonna increase Mariano's consciousness, Mariano's understanding in terms of what they actually want. I want someone else in this call to give me a deeper answer other than a chatbot. Can anyone in this call give me an answer of what they actually want? Alvaro, Manu, Marlene, anyone? No one?
I think that just they don't want just a chat box. They want something that give them a guide to the client, or like a point them to a solution of the products that they have.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes. So this is really interesting, right? So if they're looking for a chatbot, if what they want is a chatbot, then Mariano is gonna come into the call selling a chatbot. But what they actually want, it's automation. Automation that transforms into time saved, that transforms into what? Cash flow for the business. Right? So the chatbot is just the vehicle that they think they want or that they're looking for to reach to point B, which is automation, saving time, making more money. Okay, so everyone pay attention. They come to Mariano looking for a chatbot. And it's Mariano's job as a consultant to really understand, okay, what is it that they want? They don't care about a fucking chatbot.
And I have a question there.
Mhm.
So, okay, we already know they're looking for automation, but the original message for the client says that they are looking to build a chatbot for a client.
Yes,
So
yes.
they're basically someone to delegate the job
Mhm.
to.
I understand. In this case, the vehicle is well defined. I'm trying to help you understand that what they actually want is the automation, is the time saved.
No, no,
Because
my question is, I know that, but that's from the original client, but they're doing as an intermediary between me and the final client. So what should I do there?
oh
Focus on
no,
the automation or just
yeah, no,
chatbot?
focus on the chatbot. Yes,
All right.
the deal is closed. It's a chatbot. What we're gonna do, but the chatbot is the first level of the service. What we're
Mhm.
actually giving is the automation that
Got it.
transforms into value for the business. This is what I want. Or this is what I need everyone to understand. Because if you jump to Upwork, if you jump to a sales code on LinkedIn, and you're fixated only on the technology, you forget the big picture. in every interaction with prospects or potential peers or partners or clients, always make sure that you understand what they actually want. No one is looking for a website, right? They're looking for a marketing asset that helps them bring more nurtured leads to their business. But the website is just a vehicle. Okay, so first things first, what do they want? That's the first thing. What's getting in their way? What's getting in their way for them, Mariano? They don't have someone of trust that can deploy the website within the time frame that they need. Okay, easy. Okay, gang. So now I'm gonna give you all 5 powerful questions that you can ask in calls with prospects for you to gather as much insight as possible. Before I give you the questions, I want to remind you the difference between a high paying consultant or a high paid freelancer versus the average freelancer is the questions that they ask. For instance, if you jump on a call with a prospect, and in your mind, what you're gonna do is simply take notes on a piece of paper as if you were a waiter, then you're not really understanding what they actually want, what they actually need. That's what I call the yes sir syndrome. Just yes sir, you need a website, yes, I'll do it all. As a consultant, you need to ask inquisitive questions to ensure that you're understanding their current challenges and what they actually want. That is the difference, because then you make a formal proposal to help them reach point B. You know, this is transformational change management, right? So first questions, and these questions will be shared with you through text, so don't worry about it. First question is, you're in the call with the prospect, and you're gonna ask them, can you walk me through the biggest challenges your team is currently facing in specific area? In the case of a chatbot, Mr. Prospect, can you walk me through the biggest challenges your team is currently facing in customer support? Walk me through the biggest challenges. See? If I come to a prospect and simply I'm fixated on the chatbot, why would I even ask about, hey, Mr. Prospect, can you walk me through the biggest challenges your team is currently facing? I'm just like, hey, in what technology do you want the chatbot? Right? So that's the first question. And what's the purpose of this question? We're going to uncover pain points and priorities. Uncover pain points and priorities. It's very rare that a prospect online is going to come to you on a call telling you his or her pain points. They're worried, they're busy, they're business owners. It's hard for them to come to you with exactly what you need to build a formal proposal. So you need to ask them. Get insight into what truly matters to the client, right? What matters to the client? No one cares about a website, no one cares about a chatbot. We care about automating, reclaiming more time, making more money. Second question. What does success look like for you at the end of this project? Mr. Prospect, what's success at the end of this website deployment? What are you envisioning? What are you expecting? You know? No one cares about a website, actually. It's what you get from the website. Helps define their ideal outcome and aligns your solution with their goals, right? So you need to ask this question to better understand what they are envisioning. They have a vision, they have a dream, they have a hope. If you can get a clear description of this dream, then you can make everything that's in your hands to help them get there, right? So far, so good. Any questions? No questions? Okay. Victor Moreno, Alex Rojas, video camera on. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to kick you out. Okay, so that's the second question. What does success look like for you at the end of this project, Mr. Prospect? And if we were able to talk very directly to a prospect on the call, I'll be just like, hey, Mr. Prospect, what are your hopes? What are you actually looking for? You know, but this is a prospect, so we need to be more politically correct. So what does success look like for you at the end of this project, Mr. Prospect? Okay, so helps define their ideal outcome. Ideal outcome. It's not even just the outcome, it's their ideal outcome and aligns your solution with their goals. Third question. What's currently working well? What's currently working well? In the case of Mariano, if Mariano had access to the end client and Mariano could ask the end client what's currently working well, the client could say something like, yeah, so we're using DHL automations that are working well for our internal knowledge base. Internal knowledge base automation, that's interesting. So then Mariano could make a proposal for automations for potential customers, leveraging what's already working, the DHL workspace, you know, because then Mariano doesn't have to come with a out of the blue bot press implementation because they already have DHL, you know. Problem is, if you're in a call with a prospect and you're worried and if you're afraid, if you're trying to close the deal, if you're trying to look good, if you don't really care about them, then you don't even ask these types of questions. What's currently working well? You're just like, hey, what do you need? Yes, yes, I can do it. Oh, yes, 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 I'll do it. Oh, it's $1,000. You're trying to like close the deal. You don't really care, right? What's currently working well, and where do you see room for improvements? This is even better. You know, what's currently working well? Okay, Mr. Mariano, our DHL automation for internal knowledge bases are working well, but we feel like sometimes it's very slow. That's interesting. So that opens up a chance for Mariano to even pitch for optimizations. Potentially a whole project in itself, right? So far, so good? Okay. Nice. Lovely. If you have any questions, let me know. Remember, we're asking inquisitive.
I've got a question. When you're doing this, like what's currently working well and where do you see room for improvement? So how do you pitch that idea? You have somebody that says, yeah, okay, I'm having issues in this, and this. For example, taking the one for the chatbot, you make the connection and you say, oh, your problem is not actually about the chatbot. Your problem should be resolved by doing a project in automation. How do you go about telling that to the customer and selling that and say, hey, well, this is
Very good
actually
question.
better? And
Yeah, very good question. So everyone has its own approach to it, but you definitely want to keep the mystery. You know, you could tell them on the call, hey, so you have to do X, Y, and Z, and you're gonna fix 85% of your problems. Got it? And then the customer could potentially steal that from you and find someone cheaper to implement it. So what you want to do is to keep the mystery and talk a little bit on the surface. So in the case of Mariano, okay, so what's currently working well and where do you see room for improvement? Okay, well, Mr. Mariano, so we have a DHL internal automation that's working well for our knowledge base, but sometimes it feels low. Well, that's interesting. Would you be open for me to review what's in the back end? What are the processes and the documentation for me to just have a better understanding of it? Because I'm a little bit worried that the problems in performance could impact this project that we're discussing right now. So you're adding a little bit of like worry, right, to the client instead of just like giving them the solution. So you don't pitch, you ask another inquisitive questions that helps you go even deeper and get closer and closer into the client. Got it? Good question.
nice, that works. Thank you.
Good question. Good question. All right. So understand existing strengths and weaknesses to craft a targeted solution, right? Craft a targeted solution. Remember, guys, none of you in a call with a prospect, you are not the yes, yes, sir. You're not a yes, yes, sir. Avoid the yes, sir syndrome. This is a really original from Freelance Navigator, by the way. The yes, sir syndrome. ask inquisitive questions, understand their problems, their hopes, their fears, and craft a targeted solution. That's gonna differentiate you from all of the people in Upwork and LinkedIn who just want to have a cash grab, you know, the salesman, from someone who actually cares and want to have impact into the prospect's business. Here we go. Are there any specific constraints? This is a very important one, guys. Are there any specific constraints? Budget, timeline, resources. You know, that's super important. As what he was asking, hey, how can you pitch for immediate problems that they may have? Well, once you understand deeply what's going on, you ask these questions. Hey, what are the constraints? What are we doing here? Can I even care about the performance issues? Do you have the money to pay for that? You know, the timeline, the resources. Clients comes in all of the different shapes and forms and colors. It's our job to ask the questions to better understand their current situation. And guys, you'll be surprised. 85% of prospects, they don't even know what's their current situation. They're also worried. They're also afraid. They're also married. They also have debts. Okay? So this is why we get paid, because we're the ones who come with these specific questions that help them feel like finally someone cares and finally someone is asking me the questions that make me feel like they have my back. So are there any specific constraints, budget, timeline, resources that we should keep in mind as we plan for this? Okay, so yeah, yes, we have constraints, of course. I'm not rich, I'm not a millionaire. I don't have $1 million to put down here. I have 5,000. Or I have a range from 3,000 to 6,000. My timeline, well, I mean, if we can get this done in a month, okay, that'll be better. But like, if you need 3 months, I could move things around and make it work. Resources, well, my team is small. It's me, the business owner, my virtual assistant, and a marketing consultant. So the entire tech is going to be on your shoulders. You know, you need to understand the entire context and current situation of your prospects. Any questions on this one?
Yeah. Let's say I find out that they don't have the budget to pay for the chatbot. How do I show that I care, that they don't have the budget? So how should I proceed after that point?
So when you say they don't have the money, the answer was like, hey, sorry, I have nothing. Or it's
Let's
more
say
like,
I'm pitching for 1K and they say the most I can do is 400.
the most I can do is 400. Okay, so that'll be 50% less than what you were pitching, right? Okay, good one. This is a real question, guys. This happens. Okay, so what's your situation, right? Can you afford to lose money immediately in hopes of building something that will be better for the future? Example, can you tell them, yes, I'm gonna lose 50% of my cash flow here, but if I do this, at the end of the chatbot, I'm gonna get a video testimonial from you, and I'm gonna put that on my website. Mr. Prospect, I'm more than happy to lose money right now. Obviously, that doesn't make me very happy, but I like you. I think you're a great person, and I would love to partner. So yes, I can offer the 50% discount. I'm going to have to extend the timeline, and at the end of the project, I'm gonna need a video testimonial. Sound good?
Sounds really good. Yep.
Nice. Remember, extend the timeline and the video testimonial. It's going to get to a point where you don't give a fuck about video testimonials. So the answer then is the following. Hey, I understand you have budget constraints. I totally understand that. This happens. So I can refer you to one of my friends. I can vouch for him, He's gonna take care of you, and he can respect your $400 budget. You know, or once you have like a good teeth, and you have built a good practice, you just say no, and it feels really good. You're like, sorry, Mr. Prospect, I'm not that's not me. Maybe 5 years ago, yeah, potentially, but now that wouldn't work for me. Good luck though. Good luck. And once you do that the first time, my guy, feels really good. Feels really good. These are some of the hidden wins that only we as consultants we know that we go through. Alrighty. What made you decide to explore this solution now rather than 6 months ago or 6 months later? Why now? What changed now? Why is now a good opportunity? And why do we ask this? This is us asking about how urgent is this project for them. Hey, Mr. Prospect, why now? What changed today? You've been having this business for what, a year, 2 years, months? Obviously, this problem didn't pop up yesterday. Why didn't you solve it before? Why now? Or why not in the future? You know, it's important for us to know how serious they are to kick off and pull the trigger today. If they're just like researching, shopping around, that's not good for us. You know, that's not good for us. Happens a lot in places like Upwork, for example, that people are very insecure. And so this question helps us have a sense of how good of decision makers they are. Because they can, for sure, they can answer something like, well, right now I'm just still learning, doing some research. And that's a red flag for you. Doing some research. So what do you mean doing some research? Yeah, I'm just like learning a little bit about chatbots. But wait, learning. Why are you on a call with a consultant instead of just watching YouTube videos? Well, I'm just learning. So you start to get a really good feeling of like how serious or not serious the project is. Okay. So the importance of asking inquisitive questions is also for self-protection, You don't want to go and do a whole research and a formal proposal of 12 pages for someone who's just doing some research, They need urgency. Often I ask them, hey, on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being zombie, 10 being unstoppable, where are you in terms of your urgency to start this project? Anything less than 9, I need to challenge them. Okay? Urgency. So identify urgency and motivation, give insight into the client's decision-making process. My dear friends, as always, it's a pleasure for me to share all this stuff. As I said, this specific questions will be shared with you on a post coming later today. The mic is open. Questions, comments. Nothing? Everything clear? All perfect? I must be a good teacher. Andres, no questions?
No for now. But yeah, I got the point related to the, yeah.
Okay. Now that I can see all your beautiful faces, I want to remind you.
Yeah.
I want to remind you, right? The difference between a high-paying consultant and the average worker is how deep you can connect with the client, their current situation, their problems, and then make a formal proposal to help them get from point A to point B.
Mhm.
None of you in this call is trying to be out there in Upwork or LinkedIn scamming people. I can say that because I've talked to you, all of you.
Mhm.
Okay. So my job here is to train you sound like who you truly are.
Bro.
We're not
Mhm.
sellers, we're not closers. We're the changers. I'm gonna help you get to point B.
Mhm.
Beautiful faces. Thank you for joining this Q&A. I'll see you in the next one. There's you have a post in school with the specific questions and whatnot. You're looking good. Thank you for joining. It's been a pleasure. Bye bye for now.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye bye.
This-
Bye, guys.
So